Okay, now that we've created the Orient like bones, we want to create the control rig that will control the geometry bones. So let's go into our side view here and start with the leg. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that the knee is always pointing forward. We never want it to go backwards, so we're going to do a few things here. Let's start with the foot and create our control foot. So what I'm going to do here is, just without clicking on anything, I'm going to hit A to add, and then click snap to grid, and then click out to here. So that's my control foot. Then let's hit A to add, go from here out to there. That's my control toe. Now what I want to do is I want to select the foot, uncheck your snap to grid. So my control foot, hit A, and then click on the very joint of the foot left here and draw backwards. And put the roll handle up and make sure this is flat. So let's go to its rotation here, say 180 and 180. Okay, so let's actually extend this out just a little bit. Let's go like this. Okay, from this then we want to create a control ankle. So I click on the very end here and move it. Okay, and this will provide us with a point to attach our IK foot to. So let's say -180. Okay, there we go. So that's basically our control foot rig. So everything is a child of the control foot here. So let's rename it. Let's say control foot left, control toes left, control heel left, and this is control ankle left. Okay, so now let's make sure this is right. So let's go to our front view. You can see it's all in the 0 in the X. So let's hit N and then move it over, and I think we're good here. Okay, so that's right there. Okay, so let's save it. Save as Will Rig 03. Okay, so now that we've got the control foot, we want the control leg. So let's go back into our side view here. And first thing we want to do is we want to create a leg hinge, and you'll see why we do this. I always want there to be a straight line from the hip to the ankle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add in from the very top of the thigh down to the ankle, and put the roll handle forward, and let's zoom way in and match these up just right. Okay, zoom out, move down the model, and then you want this to go right to the edge, or right to the end here. Right there. Okay. Now, with this leg hinge, I'm going to create a child. So while it's highlighted, hit A, and then click right in the middle here where the knee is and go out. Now you want this to be perpendicular to your leg hinge. Pull the roll handle up, and then you can kind of gauge by the roll handle right here. You want this line right here, you want the roll handle to line up right there with it. So let's do that. Let's put it about right there. Okay, and then a child of this, while that's highlighted, I want to create a hint for the thigh that will always keep the knee pointing forward. So I'm going to just drag a bone out like this. You want it pointing out about like that. Okay. Now I want this pretty long because it will shrink as I move the leg, but let's move it back just a little bit. Okay, so about there. Now go to your front view, 2 on the numpad, and you can see where I've done this, it actually lined it up perfectly, just the way I wanted it to go. So now I've got this here. Let's name these. So this is control leg hinge left. This one is control knee left, and this one is control thigh hint left. Okay, these are going to be non-animating bones. The only bone we're going to see is the knee, is the control knee. But that's the leg setup. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. So let's hide all these so that we don't need to see them. Okay, let's go into our side view here. We want to create a control pelvis. Okay, so let's do this. Let's select our first thing we need to do before we do anything else. Let's create a control main. So I'm going to hit A to add, snap to grid, go from here and go straight up to about there. Turn that off. Now go to your, you want it to turn along the Z. Okay, so I want the roll handle to face backwards this way. So I'm going to go to my side view, grab it, and then pull it sideways. Okay, so this is my control main. Okay, so let's hide that. So with that highlighted, now what I want to do is I want to add a control pelvis. So I'm going to click A, and then I'm going to go right to the pelvis here and click the same one and go down. And then grab the roll handle and just turn it back. Now this pelvis is tilted backwards if we look at the rotation at, let's make sure the Z is 0. Okay, so 88.57, so let's do the same with this. So this is 0, this is 88.57. Oh, no. Whoops, did that in the wrong one. Did that on the end point. I want to go to rotation. Okay. So the pelvis is 0, 88.570. So let's do that. 0, 88.57, 0. Okay, now it didn't, oh, it's because I'm not in the same place. Got to go to the front view. So go to my front view and go to my start position and turn on your X to 0. Then let's rotate it just by hitting the R key. Rotate it down. So this is 0 and this is 0. Okay, now let's go back to our side view, and this was 88.57, so let's do that here. 88.57. Okay, so now we just want to make it bigger, so let's hit S to scale and then drag it out. Okay, now it should be pointing the exact same way as the normal pelvis. Okay, so now with that pelvis made, we need to create another null here that will parent everything to. But let's do this. Let's actually use a bone instead of a null. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit A, and then I'm going to start right here in the center and drag straight out. Actually, I'm going to drag straight back and put the roll handle up like this. And this will be the handle that we use to move him around. Okay, let's make sure I got that in the right spot here. Just move it in. Okay, now we want to create the spine bones. So let's do this. What we want to do is create a child of this. This is, let's actually name this first. This is control pelvis. Oops, got a space in there. and this is control body. Okay. Now, I want to take the pelvis and go on top of the body like that. And the control body will be a child of control main. In the control, the way you want the hierarchy is you want the leg hinge left then to be underneath the pelvis. But what you'll have is you'll have the control main, and then you'll have a control body, but the control foot and the control hand will be outside of the control main. That way you can move the, or it will be inside the control main but not with the control body. So I actually do this right here. But that way you can grab the body and move it, and the hands and the feet will stay put. So let's grab this, the control body, and then let's create the spine here. And what I want to do is I want to probably go every 2 bones, probably 3 at the end here. But let's do this. So we go add, go to the base of it, and then go from there to the point right there of the second spine bone. Add another one to that, go to this end, the spine bone, pull the roll handle back, go to this one, and then we want to go all the way to the top of the neck. So just put it right there, pull the roll handle back, this, okay, and then from there, select this one, we want to add a control neck, and so I'm going to put one up here, and you want to go right to the end of the neck. Now one thing we want to do here is, if I look here, I want to make sure it's attached to parent, which it is, and then I want to move it just slightly over, so that I can differentiate between the two from the neck and the control neck. So I'm just going to slide it over about like that. Okay, and then at the end of this one, control neck, I'm going to do a control head. So I'm just going to hit A and then add a head that goes all the way up this way. And make it bigger and longer than the normal head. So let's make sure it's just -90. Okay, so there's my control head. So let's shut down this right here. And under the control body, we've got control back 1. So copy that, and then just paste it, hit delete, paste it, 3, paste it 4, and paste it 5. Okay, let's save this one. So now we've got the control back, or these bones will control the other splines. So I've got all the way up to the control head. Actually, I did too much. I copied and pasted too much, so let's do this. Control head and control neck. Okay, there we go. Alright. So now that I've got my control rig up this way, now I need to go out the arm. So let's go to our front view. And what I want to do is, I don't care about the sternum bone, but I want to create a control clavicle. So I'm actually going to duplicate this clavicle left right here, and that'll give me a ton of bones, extra bones, but that's okay, we can delete them. So I take this, hold down the control key, drag the clavicle left onto the control back 2, and then delete everything else except for clavicle left 2. So hit that, delete, and there we go. So now this clavicle left 2 I can rename control, oops, clavicle left, and then I can make it bigger than the clavicle. Okay, so now it's in the exact same position. That's exactly where I want it, and I can go off from here. So I want to create my control arm now, so let's go to our top view. Zoom out here. So for my control clavicle, I want to create, just like this is going to be exactly like the leg. Imagine this is the front of the knee, right here, and I want a control bone going out this way. I want one that goes from here to here, and then I want one that goes this way, and it'll go this bone, and then this is a child of this, and this is a child of this, and then the control hand will be on its own. Okay, so from the control clavicle, I just want to add in this control hinge, roll it back, go to your front view and check the start and end. I want it to start right here at the bicep, and then I want it to end right here at the wrist. Just like so. Okay, so go back into your front view, and a child of this, while it's still highlighted, hit A and go right in the middle of it here where the elbow is, and point it back and put the roll handle up towards the shoulder. And then with a child of that, hit the A button and then drag one out like this and put the roll handle back like that. So now what I've got is, let's do this. This is the control. It looks like I actually made it a child of a... No, this is correct. And I didn't delete these finger bones that I don't need. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've got this is my control arm hinge left. Okay, and we're going to name this control elbow left, and this is control bicep hint left. Because what it's doing is it's hinting to the bicep. It will be hinting as to how it should be pointing, and that'll help keep the elbow back, keep it from bending backwards. So, okay, let's save that. Now what we want to do is we want to create a control hand. So let's do this. Let's grab the hand left and hold down control and click and drag it onto control main, and then name it control hand left, and color it something different. Let's do blue like this. Okay, so then go down to length and change its length in your properties to, let's go with 28 centimeters. There we go. Okay, so now in addition to that, I've also got all these extra fingers. Now what I want to do is I just want to delete the third digit. So delete that, delete this, delete that, delete that, and delete that. Now go through, and what I do here is let's start with the index finger so you can see. I want this bone to be the exact same as this one. I want to just move it, so I'm going to hit N and then move it just slightly off like this. Now what I do with the second one is I scale it up so it goes the whole length of these two fingers, and I can make it kind of long like this. And then what I also want to do is lock the IK on it. So I go down to lock IK and hit on. So I do the same with the rest of these fingers. So I'll go to middle, hit N, pull it down just slightly, about like that, and then scale this one up and lock the IK. It's just okay. Ring, let's do the same thing. Move it down just slightly. about like that. This is so that when we're doing constraints we can differentiate between the two, and it really doesn't matter because all you're doing is orienting the geometry bones like the control bones, so they won't actually move, they'll rotate. So with this one, let's scale it up here. Okay, and then lock the IK, and same thing with Pinky. And let's scale this one up and lock the IK. Okay, so I've got my control fingers all lined up, ready to go. Now my control thumb. Now what I want to do with this is I actually want it to be just like the other fingers, so I'm going to offset it just slightly. So let's go to here, hit N, and then just move it out just a slight bit like this. And then take the second one and scale it up so it comes out with the end. Now you can do it two different ways. The thumb, actually, sometimes what you'll want to do is have a control bone that goes the length of these. So you've got this right here, and then one that's at the end. The reason being is that your thumb tends to work from the end out, or from the end in, right here, versus going this way, versus a finger that works from the inside knuckle out. You could do it either way. I just do it this way because it's easy and it works pretty well. What I'm doing with this one control bone here is I am going to be orienting this one like it and this one like it, so that I can pull one bone down and the thumb will curl, and then I can pull this one down to move it. So that's what I'm doing right now with these, but I'll just leave it like this, so it's just slightly offset. But that's all I need it to be, is just like that. And then let's make sure we lock the IK on it. Okay. So I've got all my fingers here. Now one thing I need to do is I'm going to go into my top view, and for my control hand I need to add a bone just in the middle here. Let's just go like this, and let's see where it's at. Okay, that's fine. Let's actually move it down just slightly. Let's just go to our Y, and let's move it down. You can't really see the manipulator, but you gotta just kind of fudge your way to find it. Okay, so let's just put it kind of in the middle. Oops, in the middle of the hand right there. What this is going to be is this is going to be the finger parent. So control finger, or fingers left. Okay. Then we want to go through and rename these. So this will be control thumb 1 left, and this will be control thumb 2 left. This will be control index 1 left, and then this will be control index 2, and so forth. So let's just go through this real quick. Okay, so now that I've got those all renamed, what I need to do is parent them, or make them children of the control fingers. And this is so that I can key just the hands at any given point by selecting this bone and then key branch. Alright, so that's good. Let's save it. And I think that's it. We don't need to control things for the face or anything. We'll just use normal bones for that. But I think that's all the control bones that we need for this side. One thing I did neglect to do now that I look at it is I need to go into my front view here. I need to put in that Orient-like bone that goes right here. Did I get it? Let's see here. I think I did get it. Oh well, yep, there it is. Okay, good. I got it. Okay, so I think we have all of our control bones set up just the way we need them. In the next tutorial we'll go through setting up manipulator options so that the bones only move the way we want them to move. So that's it for this one.